guys, Tammy here, and I am online with a probably not so short tutorial, so sorry if it goes too long, but I just wanted to show you guys. I've seen these rosettes made. The first time I saw them was Little Hot Chili Pepper or Tamale, Little Hot Tamale. She made them, and she shows how to make these. I believe they're hand sewn, but what I'm going to do is show you guys how to make these with a little machine, and it's called the Hydrol, and it is just a little craft machine. This is what it looks like, and it just sits nicely on my desk. I don't have to break out my big sewing machine, and I'm going to show you how to make these rosettes on the sewing machine. I think I did do a video where I showed you how to hand sew rosettes, but this is with the machine, which is a little bit different, and it can be a little tricky, but if you do it the right way, the rosettes turn out really, really pretty. So I have, for these rosettes, these were a couple of that I made for a swap that I did, but I made 4 of these, and I love the tool and how it just adds that little sparkle to the crepe paper. So anyway, I'm going to show you what you need and how to do this, and let's get started. So first of all, I bought some tulle. Usually during the holiday they have like the silver and the gold at Christmas time, so I bought a few rolls of that. And this is 6 inches wide when you get it, and so what I do is I cut these into like 12 or 14 inch pieces, and then I cut them in half, so that would be 3 inches by 12, and I did that with all of them. The gold ones I had to cut off because for some reason they come on the roll all crinkled up on the ends, on the end of one side. So anyway, and we're going to trim this down once we get the rosettes sewn, but I'm going to show you all of that. So I've got some gold and I've got some silver, and then I have 2 different types of paper, crepe paper. This one I bought online, and I cut it down to 12 inches. So 12 inches, and this one is actually, let's see, 1, 2, this one is 4 inches wide, and so what I do is I'm going to show you how to make a double with the 4 inch wide, because you can fold that in half or you can cut it down or whatever, but I like the double because I like to glue the edges and put glitter on it. So anyway, I am going to trim off this little torn part here, and so I've got 2 of those. I've got the purple and I've got the peach, and then I've just got regular Dollar Tree crepe paper. Again, I cut that down to a 12 inch piece. I've got pink and I've got turquoise. Then I took my, I don't even remember, I think this is this is my Paper Studios 2.5 inch punch, and I cut 4 circles out of some DSP paper, which I'll link below. I'm working on some swaps that I have coming up that are due, so these are going to be unicorn themed, and so these are going to be the rosettes for one set of the 2 sets of 4 embellishments. So this is going to go on the top of the rosettes when I get them done. And then I took my what is this? I think this is We Are Memory Keepers, 1.5 inch punch, and I made some little scallop punches, and that's actually going to go on the back to hide the hole. Now when you sew the rosettes, like what I'm going to show you, it's going to leave kind of a bigger hole than you would if you were just to do the pinch and gather thing, but that's okay because we're going to cover it up and you're not going to even see it. So that's what these are going to be for. Alright, so I'm gonna sew 1 of each just to show you how I do it, and then I will go off and I will do the other 2, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how we add the circles to the front and the back. Okay, so first we're going to do, and it doesn't matter, you can use colored thread. I just have some white thread in my machine, so I'm just going to use that up for now. But, and I apologize for the machine, it's a little noisy. Anyway, oh, and you're going to need some type of sewing pins. is what I use. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're just going to take the crepe paper, and I love this crepe paper because it is super sturdy. It's not like the flimsy Dollar Tree paper. So, and I got this online somewhere, but I can't mention where I got it. So anyway, so I'm just going to fold that in half like that, all the way, let's see, I can't see what I'm doing here, all the way down, okay, and then I just kind of don't worry about, you know, it's going to curl a little bit, that's fine, because we're going to fix that. Okay, so on the folded edge, you're going to take your tool, and what I do, just because it makes it easier, is I am going to take that and I'm going to pin it all the way down, just in small spots, just so it stays there when I go to sew it on the machine and it doesn't go all over the place. So I'm going to do that. And again, this crepe paper I cut at 12 inches, and the tool I cut at 14 inches, but we're going to trim that at the end, so it's okay. Alright. It's kind of hard to see the tool when it's silver. It's a lighter color, but it'll work. And I just want to make sure that it's pinned all the way down the side. And again, you can trim, after you fold the crepe paper, you can trim it in half if you want to make a skinnier, smaller rosette, or, you know, depending on what size rosette you want to do. So, alright, so there we go. We're at the end. So I'm going to just pin that. And you don't have to pin it, but you know what? I don't want to risk it. So, anyway, then I'm going to turn that over. Kind of hold it, try to get it square, and then I'm just going to trim a little bit off there. And then what I do is I turn this over, and I'm going to cut that excess tulle off. So, just at the edge of the crepe paper that you folded. So, and again, I love this look, and I really like the ones that Little Hot Tamale made. They're so cute. Okay. Alright, so you don't need to keep the excess tulle. And I don't worry too much about the ends, because once I get this sewn, it's going to fix itself. Alright, so we're going to bring this in. And I apologize, this is a little loud for a sewing machine. But I'm just going to put it on the end, and I'm going to clip that down, turn my little light on, and then, sorry, let me adjust this so you can kind of see it like that. Okay, and then it's really loud, so again, I apologize. I'm going to turn this on and just sew. Sew it, you want to keep the foot, let me see if I can get this to where it'll, oops, alright, you're going to cut off enough that you can have some extra pull that you can use to pull. But when you have this on the machine, you want to make sure that it's the folded edge that you're going to sew. Okay, let me put that aside. It's the folded edge that you're going to sew, and you want to make sure that on the machine, when you put the foot down, it's on that edge. Okay, so it's on the edge where it's folded. That's the part you're going to sew. All right, and then we can take these out. Let me adjust the camera back up here. Okay. So we're going to take that. All right. And this does a really kind of a small stitch, but I'm still learning my machine, so I don't think this high troll you can even adjust the stitch length. I think it's just one stitch, but a lot of people buy this machine just to sew on paper. So anyway, I don't really like, it's kind of close to the edge, but as long as it's not over, and nobody's going to see that because that's going to be on the inside. Okay, so see how it's stitched all the way down, and what you have left is you have two little, you have a double thread like this, okay? And what this is going to do, this, we call this a gather stitch when you're sewing. Usually the stitches are larger, but it's okay. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take that and we're going to carefully work it, because let me tell you, I did this the other day and I snapped the thread right in half. I was so mad, so I had to go back and sew it, but it's okay, it's all paper. It's just paper. Paper and thread, no big deal. So you're just going to pull that. And the reason I like to sew it is because even by hand, I like the way it looks. I like it, it's fuller, I think, than when you do the paper folding of the crepe paper. And I haven't actually done the folding, hand folding with this thicker paper, but it just, I just like it. And you're going to do that all the way down. And what I do is I kind of grab the thread and wind it and then just work it all the way down. And the nice thing is you can do that on both ends. You can do it on this side, you can flip it over, and then you're going to find, and it's usually the thread in the back that you're going to grab. So I just do this. And just be really careful that you just kind of, you know, pull it over and pull, and then see how that's gathered. I love that look. It reminds me of like when I used to sew. Alright, so then we can take that, and then we're going to pull that one a little bit tighter. Okay. Then what I do is I flip that over. I want the tulle on the bottom side, and it already starts curling when you do this gather stitch. So you're going to take the excess thread, and you'll see about the hole I'm talking about. Let's see. I'm going to meet those two ends together like this. And then this is where you have to be really careful, because this is where I broke the thread. You're going to tie that in a knot. And I tie it about 4 times. I always do, just because I want to make sure it doesn't come apart. And this is giving me a pain. Alright. You're going to tie that. Time for good measure. Alright, then we're going to trim off the excess. This. Alright, so just like in the tutorial that I showed before where I hand sewed it, this time I'm just going to kind of fold it over and find the two edges. And you're going to need your hot glue gun for this part, so make sure you got that on and it's already warmed up. This is a little tricky because the tool's in the way. So I'm just going to watch my finger. I'm going to put it on the tool like that. And then I'm going to put, yeah, what's going to happen? Put the two edges that. And I'm going to trim this off so it's okay. So anyway. Okay, and then when you open it, I'm going to trim it off so don't worry about it. This is what it's going to look like, which I just absolutely love. I'm going to trim that off. So I think what I'm going to do is trim that off so I can put the little circle thingy on it. Just like that. And there's the rosette. And remember I said there was this big hole, but we're going to take care of that. So don't really worry about it too much. Get rid of all this glue for my finger. Alright, so then let's see. I'm going to use that circle on top, so I think I'm going to use this circle in the back. Alright. And this is nice too because once you get, once you get it done or whatever, if you want to make that gap just a little bit smaller, you can, which is cool. So I'm going to put some glue on here. I'm not too worried about the center. And I don't know why I'm being sloppy with the glue tonight, but hey. Alright, so we're going to put that down here. And then I just kind of hold it in place until it cools off. Oops. Yep, I got some in the center there. Which is okay because we're going to cover that up with this one here. Is going to go on top just like that. Okay. So I'm going to put some glue on this. And I don't have to worry about the center because there's that hole there. Just like that. And I'm going to put that down. Kind of try to center it. And then that is really hot. So I'm going to turn it over. Hold that till it cools down a little bit. Okay, and there you have it, a rosette with tulle. Now what I like to do is when it's uneven like that, I will just take my scissors, and I actually want this to be a little bit smaller, so I'm just going to trim edges. Trim that down a little bit. Okay. Just like that, and then I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to trim the tulle so it's kind of like to the edges. Alright, there we go. Okay, so there's one. And I love how the tulle just gives it that sparkle. And I'll probably end up trimming this down a little bit more, just because it's a little bit bigger on this side. I don't know why, but making rosettes is like my favorite thing to do right now. So anyway, all right, there's that. And then once you start decorating it, the tool will actually, it'll lay down a little bit for you. So and if you want your rosette to be a little bit smaller, you can just cut as much of that crepe paper down as you want with the larger crepe paper. So anyway, why does that look? Okay, there we go. That's kind of better. Having a hard time tonight. All right, I'm going to call that good. So there's my, you can see the shiny, sparkly. See that? Oh, I love that. It's going to be so much fun to decorate. Okay, so that's that one, and that's with the thicker crepe paper that I folded in half, okay? And then this next one, I'm just going to use, I'll show you what, a little bit darker. I think I'm going to use the gold on this one. So, got my crepe paper, or my tool, and again, this one's going to be much easier. It's actually going to make a smaller rosette. So, again, we're going to just pin that in place. This crepe paper is a little bit more delicate, so I kind of put more smaller spaces between the pins to hold the stuff in place. And you can put the tool, like, you know, put the crepe paper in the center of the tool and then trim it, but I don't really have time for that, so. Okay. Everything's trimmable. It's all trimmable. In my earlier craft days, I was like such a perfectionist. I probably would have just thrown it away and started over because, you know, I didn't realize that if you just trim it, it's fine. Alright, so there we go. So we're going to cut off the tool again, make that a little bit straighter. Cut off the excess, and then we're going to cut this down so it's at the edge of the crepe paper again. Okay, throw the excess away. You don't need that. Unless you want to save it for a smaller one, you could do that. Alright, so we've got our crepe paper and we've got our tool. I'm going to line this up again. Let me adjust this so you can see. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to put that foot down right on the edge of the crepe paper, okay? And then what I do with the thinner crepe paper, it's a little bit, it doesn't necessarily want to pull through. So I'm going to try to do this with one hand. I'm just going to slow down. The edge of the crepe paper. Lift our bobbin thread thing, pull it through so you have enough of a tail that you can work with the thread. Alright, I'm going to put that aside. I'm done with that. and this ate up the end, which is fine because we're going to fix that. So alright, I think it's okay. I'm going to work from this end. The thinner crepe paper is a little bit hard to do on the machine, just because it's so thin. So usually I hand sew it, but it's fine. Alright, so that's the one in the back. This is the one I'm grabbing is in the back. Okay, and we're going to just lightly pull that through. And watch this be the one time it doesn't turn out the way I want it to. That's okay. This is the first time that I actually ate up the other end. It didn't do that last time when I made those other ones. So again, you're just going to gather it all the way down by pushing it down that thread. I don't know what I'm going to do with that end. Let's see. I want to keep that. I don't want to cut the thread, so I'm just going to do this. I'm going to cut that away and see if I can't save that. Okay. And again, nobody's going to see it when it's covered up with a circle, so gather that all the way down. And I think what's going to happen is that it has a little knot right there. So that's all good. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to cut that down a little bit. That's annoying. Okay, so take these two. And we're going to tie a knot. Just wondering, I might have to redo this one, but I might be able to save it. Let me see. Tie a knot. Okay, what is up with the thread? And then one more time. I think I said in my last video that these aren't any more time consuming than the folding, but after I've been making these, I have to take that back because they do take a little bit more time. So I'm going to try to fix that when I put the circle. I'm going to go ahead and glue that right now. And then I can trim off whatever's left over. So just going to put some glue there. And then I'm going to just carefully fold that over like that. I gotta stop doing that. I don't know why I do that. Okay. Alrighty. So there we go. There is our other circle. And if you'll notice that this is with the regular crepe paper. That's let me see, that's only like 2 inches wide versus this one, which is after we folded it, was like 3 inches wide, but that's okay because we've got 2 different sizes. I am going to trim this off. Now this one, I don't have to really trim the tulle, but maybe in a couple spots. So let's see. I think that will be good. And I was able to save it without having to throw it away, which I hate doing. Alright, so this one, I think I'm going to use purple. So I'm going to take my purple square, my purple circle, scallop, that's going to go on the back and kind of help hold everything in place. And let's see, just around the edges, like that. And then, for some reason, this purple paper wants to change colors when I put hot glue on it. Let's hold that down until it cools, and then I'm going to turn that over, and this circle is going to go right there. Okay. So I'm going to put that glue right there, and then I think hold that down. Till it cools. And then there is another crepe paper. There's it, and I don't know why this is folding over, but it's fine. Once you start decorating it, it'll be fine. Trim the excess off. I think I might just put a little snip right there, just to help that unfold. Alright, so those are the two rosettes with the tulle that I made tonight, and I will probably have to end up fixing this because I don't like that. It kind of folds over. But anyway, so those are the two rosettes with the tulle, and again, I love this look, and when they're decorated, it just, I don't know, it just gives it that extra little bling, and I like that. So anyway, alright, so I'm going to go and I'm going to be making one more of this size and then one more of this size. Hopefully my machine doesn't eat up the thinner crepe paper, but anyway, so that is the finished product. And then when I decorate them, I will do a blog post, and I will link that in this video so you can actually go see the finished rosettes when they're done. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. These are going to be unicorn themed, like I said, for a swap. So anyway, I've got a bunch of digital paper that I've cut out, and I've cut out little figurines and stuff, little clip art, and that's going to go on there, and then I'll probably die cut some stuff, but after I figure it out and I get these other two sewn, I will probably do a video for the actual decorating part so you can see that. But anyway, I'll also do a blog post just to show you the finished product. But anyway, if you like my video, please hit the like button. If you want to see when I subscribe, or when you want to see when I upload more videos, hit the subscribe button. And then when you want to be notified that there is a new video, hit the little bell icon on the right. And thanks for watching and sticking it out with me while we did this. You know, sometimes it's good to show the mistakes too, or when something screws up, how you can fix it. That's always nice to know too. We're not perfect, we're just crafters, so nothing's perfect. But anyway, thanks for staying and watching, and I appreciate it, and thank you for subscribing, and I hope you all have a blessed evening.